Hello everybody, what do you make of this tune? I didn't make it or anything, obviously. I'm just looking for some new music for this channel, and I've just discovered something called jazz hop, which is a genre of music I had no idea existed until a few weeks back, but now I'm obsessed. Anyway, this is not a music channel, as you well know. This is a photography channel, and a big thank you to a new sponsor on this channel, mpb.com. More on that later, but basically, in short, a few weeks ago, I asked them if I could borrow a lens from their extensive stock. And the lens in question was a Sony 135mm f1.8 GM Prime. And to my delight, they said yes, and when it turned up, I thought, fantastic. I'm going to take that to Iceland, and that's what I did. And this is what happened.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Iceland and to shot number one with the 135, which to be honest is tailor-made for a 135 focal length. I mean, basically we've got these really nice dark sandy rocks, and then we've got the sea, the crashing waves, like I've never seen here before. Then we've got the rock and the birds flying above the rock. It's perfect. The challenge though in this low light is to try and get the crashing waves and the rock both in focus. I'm not really, in this low light, going to be able to take advantage of the 1.8. So I'm going to start shooting at something like f4, see what the ISO turns up at. I suspect too high, and then we'll probably just have to wait for better light. But yeah, this is, let me show you. Something like that. It's pretty cool. Also, I think getting low is going to be the aim of the game. When we were last here, Nigel got a cracking shot with the sun on the wet rocks. I'm going to try and copy him. I've never really shot all that much at 135. It's one of those focal lengths that you hear some photographers, it's all they shoot, but yeah, I've never really done it massively. But this morning I am really enjoying myself. It's been a lot of fun, but maybe it's just this location. At the moment, I want one. Well, the side light and backlight has finally happened, and shooting at f2.8, 500th of a second, which I've been doing all morning really, and it looks mwah! Well, I've been pleasantly surprised today by how much I've used the 135 for what I suppose you'd call detail shots, and this is a perfect example of that opportunity. So we're here at the face of a glacier I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name of, and as you can probably see in the face, it's just completely shredded, and that works pretty well for a detail shot. So something like that. It's a shame really that there isn't a bit more of a reflection, but I mean at 135 it really doesn't matter, because all there is room for in the frame is the ice anyway. And besides, even if there was more of a reflection, the water is really quite brown, so never mind. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vestrahorn, where I'm waiting for these clouds to light up above the mountain range. And when they do, if they do, I'll do some sort of panorama or something fairly conventional. I don't know what I'm going to do when I put the 135 on, because to be honest, as grand as this scene is, it really does lend itself to much wider focal lengths. So maybe some detail shots or something. Well, I don't know if you can see, but there's a hiker over there, so that could work at 135. No, not really. Yeah, I can't emphasize how little this place is made for a 135. It's made for a 20mm, something like that, which is what I'll be using in about, talk amongst yourselves, 12 hours for hopefully some decent aurora here, as we did when we were last here. Apparently there was an Arctic fox here this morning. I didn't see it, but that would have been nice with the 135. Not terrible, probably not going to go in the portfolio though. See, here it is just detail shots really that I can be working on with this. Well, unfortunately, some of the best details are are hidden in those clouds. It's coming! Well, welcome to Estrahorn this afternoon now. We've moved on from Vestrahorn, which is over there, and I think I have done some video stuff here before. If memory serves, it was quite a lot colder than it is today, and today is cold, so it must have been freezing that day. Anyway, as you might have seen from that geese shot, I have the 135 on, and I've got a few options here. I could shoot at that mountain top, preferably when a touch of light hits it. I could shoot directly at the waves and Vestrahorn, with the spray coming off the waves. That looks pretty good. And if I go a bit further at the beach, I might be able to prioritise the orange lighthouse as well. So a number of different options, and probably more than that. I've just not thought of them yet. Well, I've moved off the beach now, as you can probably see, and there's some light hitting the highest peak over there. So I'm focusing on that. Well, not focusing on it, I'm focusing on the sea in front of it, but that's one of the centre points of my shot. Unfortunately, with 135, you can't really get much of the black sand in, and that is really quite nice too. I could get more of the black sand in if this hill kind of went further that way, but I'm right on the edge of it, so can't get further that way. Still nice though, but probably would be a bit nicer with an 85. Well, good morning from Vestrahorn again, and back to a video which I assume is making zero sense. I left you at Estrahorn, I think, yesterday, and basically the light got incredible for sunset, and I got so excited that I forgot to record anything, but basically there was glow off the back of the waves, incredible colours in the sky, and as I say, I was just taking photos. Not too excited. All the photos with the 135 though, so that worked great. Okay, so a couple of nice wide angle sunrise shots in the bag, I think, and now it's time for some detail shots with the 135, and down to the beach. I've pretty much accepted that detail shots is really all I can manage here, because it's just way too long for anything else. So I've got two detail shots in particular in mind. The first is trying to find some stones on the beach that I can shoot quite close up, and the second is trying to get some nice wave formations, but again pretty close up obviously. And when I say wave, I mean like the lapping foam against the shore. That means going quite close to the sea though, and I've got wet walking boots on already. I suppose they're already wet. Well, for the first time in my life, I can honestly say that I'm quite enjoying taking photos of pebbles. No.
So yes, they are some of the images that I took in Iceland with my Sony 135. Not mine, but maybe in future I'll buy one of these. I was interested to try it primarily because I know lots of people who use one of these in lieu of a 70-200, purely because it's so sharp. I mean, obviously it's nowhere near as versatile as a 70-200 in terms of focal length, but lots of people who shoot, for example, with a body like this, Sony A7R Mark IV, as I do, use this lens because they can get towards 200 and still have loads of resolution from cropping. Not quite as easy to go wider than 135 unless you're doing panos and stuff, but that's a bit of a faff. But yeah, basically, because it's so sharp, I'm finding that that kind of option is food for thought for me. Very impressive. Anyway, while I try and work out whether or not I need to buy this lens, a big thank you to the sponsor of this week's video, as I mentioned before, mpb.com. Now, you may or may not have heard of mpb.com. Basically, they are the world's largest platform for selling, buying and trading used camera equipment, photography gear and videography gear. And I have used them extensively myself. I've sold loads of gear over the past year or so on mpb.com, and I've also bought gear. So this A7R Mark IV that I was mentioning, this is my stills camera, and I bought this used from mpb.com. I also bought this 70-200 f4 from mpb.com. I bought my 20mm f1.8 from mpb.com. I bought the Sony a7C from mpb.com that's filming this video, and actually the 16-35 lens that I'm filming this on right now, all bought through mpb.com used. And it's a service that's used by over 250,000 other creatives as well. And that's pros, amateurs, and everybody in between. And basically, mpb.com recirculates over 300,000 pieces of gear every single year. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot of it. So perhaps you're in the market for some new camera gear, or some used camera gear. And if you are, definitely check out mpb.com, because everything comes with a 6-month warranty. Or perhaps you just want to sell some gear, free up some money for Christmas, and you can see exactly what you can get for it on mpb.com with a free quote. And did you know, for example, that apparently over half of photographers have got gear that they haven't touched in 2 years? So I'm imagining lots of you might want to see what your gear is worth. And then you can buy more camera gear with the money. I mean, what else do we photographers spend money on other than camera gear? Seriously. So yes, definitely check out mpb.com. Fantastic service that I can't recommend enough. There's a link in my description. Definitely check it out. But until next time, I'm going to listen to lots more jazz hop, I imagine. Obsessed. I'll see you then.